As promised, I'm joined by the UFC president. UFC 288 is Saturday at Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. The co-main event is a fascinating fight. Really good card, but a fascinating fight. In the co-main event, you've got the UFC bantamweight champ, Aljamain Sterling, defending against the former champ, Henry Cejudo. Joining us right now to talk about that is Dana White. Dana, good to have you back. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Good, Dana. So let me start right there. Cejudo was at the peak of his powers when he retired in 2020. You and I have talked in the past about ring rust and how that's a real thing. What are you expecting from him, or maybe is he a different dude, and could he fire huge even off a long layoff?
Yeah, no, you know me. I'm a big believer in ring rust. So, again, it's one of those things we're going to find out on Saturday. But stylistically, this is a very fun fight because these guys are both great wrestlers. And usually when you get guys at this high level of wrestling, you know, they usually end up standing up and banging. So it should be fun.
Damn, you beat me to it. I was going to say stylistically, it's a fascinating fight. For those who don't know, Aljo has got that great MMA grappling submission skill, while Cejudo is an Olympic wrestling prodigy. I was going to say to you, Dana, you answered it in part that when both these guys are that good on the ground, they'll probably stand up and fight. If they do go to the ground, who has the advantage?
That's a good question, too. I would have to give the advantage on the ground to Sterling. You know what I mean? He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And, you know, the kid's a two-time NCAA Division III All-American. So, you know, it's a very, very fun fight. And the other thing, Sterling's never been submitted. So
it's a really intriguing fight. What brought Henry back? I mean, the thing that brings everybody back, money, or was it something else?
I don't know. That's a good question. I really don't know what brought him back. Only he knows that. That's a question you have to ask him. But I didn't think he was going to. He was talking for a long time, and finally I told the media, stop asking me about Henry Cejudo. The guy hasn't done anything to even try to come back. And then he entered the USADA pool, and that's when I knew he was serious.
Dana White joining us. Dana, one thing at a time. Like, I understand this, but now that he is back, if the guy comes back and he wins this belt after 3 years off, then he goes on to win the featherweight belt. I get it, one thing at a time. But if he were to pull that off, are we then talking about this guy as maybe the best ever?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the other thing about him that's interesting, too. He's never been submitted. You know the level of wrestling he's at. He broke all kinds of records while he was here. So, yeah, I mean, listen, if he does this on Saturday night, then moves up and does what he's going to do, I mean, this guy will definitely go down as one of the greatest of all time.
We are talking to Dana White. Good card coming up this weekend. Another intriguing fight, Belal Muhammad taking on Gilbert Burns. Dana, Burns sent Jorge Masvidal into retirement with a dominant finish at UFC 287. Hey, look, I get that Masvidal is not what he was, but how good did Burns look to you, and what's it tell you that he wants to get right back in the cage?
Obviously, he looked incredible. I mean, he looked incredible. He took no damage, and he's turning right around and fighting another savage. You know what I mean? And the other thing that you have to remember is the Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat Chimaev fight and how good he looked in that fight. Gilbert Burns is an absolute savage, and this Belal fight should be very fun.
I think so, too. You mentioned my guy Chimaev, and, I love him. Usman called him out. Is there anything there as it relates to the two of them, or what's next for Khamzat Chimaev?
No, because what I hate about that fight and calling him out, Usman's calling him out, but at a catch weight. I don't do catch weights. I don't like catch weights. Catch weights mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing. If he wants to move up to 185 and fight him, we can talk about it. But trying to fight him at a catch weight, I'm not interested in.
All right, so Dana, back to Muhammad for a minute. He went from not having a fight booked at all to preparing for a 5-rounder against another savage, as you point out, in Burns. And he's doing this on a couple of weeks' notice. What's that say about him, Muhammad?
Yeah, no. Belal Muhammad is awesome, man. I love this kid. We have a ton of respect for him, and for him to jump into this Burns fight the way that he is unbelievable. He's coming off performance of the night, knockout over Sean Brady, and he's 12-1 in his last 14 fights.
We are talking to Dana White. UFC 288 is Saturday at Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Dana, you and I have not spoken since UFC's parent company, Endeavor, went with another big swing in acquiring WWE. Obviously, this is now a behemoth. You got two totally different companies, different brands, different products. What do you like about WWE, and why did you want this deal? What do you think about this?
Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't affect me and what I do at all. What they're going to do is going to roll this thing up into one company, UFC and WWE, with a new stock ticker. And I'm going to run my business. Vince is going to run his, and, we'll continue to do what we do.
Dana, business is business, product is product. Were you a fan of that? Did you follow that? Were you into that at all before this? Are you into it?
I was into the WWE when I was a kid, when I was young. And then once I, started turning 16, 17 years old, I was more into real fighting.
Hey, Dana, at the risk, I'm just going to ask you this anyway. It's not your promotion, but what do you think is going to happen if Nate Diaz fights Jake Paul?
I don't know, man. I've been trying not to. I like Nate. Nate and I have a good relationship. It's just, listen, Jake Paul went out and fought a real boxer who was his age, his weight, and he lost. So as soon as he loses, he goes back to a 40-year-old MMA fighter who's smaller than him, not his weight. It's just one of those fights that it's just. I know that some people are into this. It's just not what I'm into. It's not my thing.
It's a good answer, Dana. I'll take that. UFC 288 is Saturday. It's at Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. You know where to find the fights. You know how to get them. Dana, great to have you on the show. Have a great weekend. Always good to talk to you.
Always a pleasure, my brother. Thank you.
Take care, Dana. Dana White.
You too.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.